24 hours to the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Welcome to Joy News Prime. We are coming to you from our studios here at Kuku Mlimne in Accra. We are live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Kaloni. Tonight, Attorney General sends out a passionate appeal for patience as public pressure mounts on him to expedite prosecutions and secure convictions in fulfillment of campaign promise to recover all loot. And reintroduction of anti-LGBTQ generates heated controversy in Parliament as a minority leader accuses the NDC of backtracking from its previous stance. Tonight, former registrar of the Medical and Dental Council warns of a looming major health crisis in part of the central region as illegal mining forces residents to resort to polluted water sources and compels health facilities to rely on sachet water to treat patients. And later, Krobo Girls SHS shines over two-time finalists St. Francis Xavier and Business SHS to book 1 stage spot at the 2025 NSMQ preliminary round. We are Joy News. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Stay with us. Tonight, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, has frozen several properties across the country, along with a fixed deposit account containing 10 million cedis belonging to the former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan Wahab. According to the Attorney General, painstaking investigations uncovered how between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Wahab, his wife and others allegedly siphoned over 78 million Ghana cedis from the company's account into various firms they had secretly established. Our presidential affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba joins us with more from the Jubilee House where the briefing actually took place. Maxwell, tell us more about this Operation Recover All Loot update the presidency dubbed Rumble in the Jungle.
General, he nicknamed this particular oral briefing as Rumble in the Jungle, not only because of the cost involved, but also because at a time when food suppliers to the National Food Buffer Stock Company were complaining about lack of payment after they've supplied food to various schools, and then students also complaining about lack of food in their various senior high schools. The ex-boss of the Buffer Stock Company and his collaborators, he said, were busy looting public funds and funds owned by the Buffer Stock Company. He mentioned that he said was jungle behavior. And he also said that Rumble simply means to uncover an illicit activity or the perpetrator of that illicit activity. I have more in this report from the oral briefing dubbed Rumble in the Jungle.
With high domestic and export potential.
According to the Attorney General, among the properties owned by the former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan Wahab, that have been frozen by the state with steps initiated to confiscate them include, but not limited to, a number of residential properties across the country. A fixed deposit account containing 10 million Ghana cedis, a 5-bedroom house at Chain Homes valued at $1.6 million, a 3-bedroom house at Cantonment worth $600,000, a 17-bedroom boutique hotel in Tamale valued at $250,000, and several other assets acquired between 2018 and 2024, which he says were purchased with proceeds of crime.
1. A 5-bedroom house bought from Chain Homes Limited between February 2019 and December 2020 at a cost of $1,625,000. Of this amount, $5,758,165 Ghana cedis, that is the equivalent of 230,841 United States of American dollars, was paid directly from the accounts of the investigated entities. The balance was paid in cash to Chain Homes by the couple. In July 2020, the couple purchased a 3-bedroom house at Cantonments from Golden Coast Developers Limited at a cost of 600,000 United States of American dollars, using two of their companies, Fahauser Ventures, owned by the wife, and Fahauser Company Limited, owned jointly by the couple. The land documents were, however, registered in the name of their wife. Between October 2019 and February 2021, the couple purchased plots at Fanali's airport development site for 750,000 United States of American dollars. The total payments were made in cash in the name of Faiza Seydou Wuni. We have the cash, receipts from the developer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, other properties acquired by the couple are as follows: a 17-bedroom boutique hotel at Gumani in Tamale, in respect of which the couple used Fahauser Company Limited to sign a franchise with Villa Monticello for, the price of $250,000. In other words, $250,000. So they wanted Villa Monticello to run it as if it is a Villa Monticello hotel. So they paid $250,000 to Villa Monticello, in order to hide the identity of the hotel.
The AG says the former Buffer stock boss and his wife have been charged. The charges will be filed on Friday, October 24.
Bank documents obtained by EOCO revealed that within the period that the suspects operated this criminal enterprise, Mr. Abdul Wahab and his wife and their entities became the largest depositors at Republic Bank, and the branch was at Labone branch. Lastly, we have frozen all the assets of Anan that I have listed, including a 10 million Ghana cedis fixed deposit account at Republic Bank, Labone branch. That is the liquid assets. We've done the freezing, including those of the vehicles. So on account of the foregoing, we have decided to charge Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seydou Wuni, with stealing, conspiracy to steal, causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, obtaining public property by false statements, and money laundering. The charges will be filed on Friday, and I have the charge sheet, the draft charge sheet, which I am reviewing here.
The Attorney General has also been responding to claims that the government's Operation Recover All Loot initiative is moving at a slow pace. Dr. Ayini has also served notice of plans to amend the charges in the National Service Fraud case following revelations from a forensic audit conducted by the Auditor General. The audit found that the financial loss to the state has increased significantly from 548 million cedis to 2.2 billion cedis.
Well, Maxwell, we've seen the report from the presidency. What more do you know about this case?
Well, Carlos, for those who've been raising concerns about the pace at which Operation Recover All Loot initiative is moving, the Attorney General is assuring that he has the full backing of the presidency and the full government machinery. He's also urging Ghanaians to be patient with him, stating that accountability takes time. And he says they are definitely achieving results, but it is going to take time, Carlos.
Thank you so much for bringing those details to us from the presidency. Well, my colleague, Caleb Ziblem with the research desk, has also joined me in studio with details of the cases the Attorney General has been investigating. So how many cases in all, and what are the details?
So earlier this year when the oral committee submitted their report to the AG, they submitted about 230 cases, and then 44 of them came from civil society access. And when you put the monetary value of all the cases together, the state is supposed to recover about $21 billion. So, people were very excited about 230 cases and then $21 billion being recovered. And so far, the expectation is that the government is being a bit slow. And what we tracked so far from the Attorney General's office, from his speech today, and then what they've done in courts and all of that, we have 19 cases so far. So out of the 230 announced from the oral reports, we've seen 19 cases so far. And then 3 of them are in trial at the moment. We have the National Service case. We have the trial against Edubuahene, the National Signals Bureau boss. And then we also have one more trial, I can't remember at the moment. So we have 3 of them in court. We have 11 of them being investigations concluded. So very soon, 11 more cases should be going to courts. And then we have
about 13.
Making about 13 and 14. And then
14 exactly.
14. And then we have 5 of them still under investigation. And the AG gave updates on those 5 of them today. The All African Games, remember there were some issues about some procurement breaches and all of that. We have mathematical sets, the BOG building, the very nice building we see, and then the National Cathedral as well. And he says they've taken the docket to the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit. And once that's done, they'll take steps to either move the case forward or see what they'll do with the case. Right. So we have 19 cases so far that has been announced. 3 of them are in trial. 11 of them, the AG says investigations have concluded, including the buffer stock case that was announced today. And then 5 of them are currently under investigation.
Right. Thank you so much for those details, Caleb. We appreciate it. Now, joining us is private legal practitioner, lawyer Martin Kpebu. Thank you so much for your time. Did these revelations come to you as a surprise?
Yes, I'm surprised that the National Service Authority case has now ballooned to 2.2 billion. Yes, that's quite staggering. It's beyond my imagination. Because, hitherto, the Attorney General mentioned was about 500 to 600 million. That was as of, February or July this year. But that with the forensic audit, the figure has ballooned to 2.2 billion. So it's really surprising. Of course, we knew that Akufo-Addo's government was riddled with corruption, but I didn't for one moment imagine that the National Service Authority case alone could rake up 2.2 billion. We are dead,
Right.
And other cases, yeah.
The Attorney General has taken certain steps to freeze some of these properties acquired, allegedly, by the former CEO. Is that the right step?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. The power to freeze is one of the good tools in our law. Both the Yoko Act 804 and the OSC Act 995, they allow the heads of these 2 institutions to freeze assets. It's not only banks, housing, land, etc., even before going to court. The law allows, let's say, Yoko boss, if his investigations uncover that the money that was from government coffers was used to buy a house, straight away he can freeze the house for a period. I don't immediately have the law here with me. We have 7 days and then 14 days. I'm mixing them up. But the clear principle is that he can freeze even before going to court because, sometimes if you want to go to court and come, by the time you come, especially when it's a bank account, maybe the person will get wind of it and then take out the money. So under current law, the Yoko boss OS can just swoop on the properties, issue an order for freezing straight away without a court order. And then within that 7 days or the 14 days, depending on which one we are talking about,
right,
then they go to court and get an extension of the order. So that, and let's be very clear, the freezing means they are just taking hold of it temporarily until, so in the Yoko, they have a year. OSC, I don't really recall. But bottom line is that the freezing is not confiscation. It's not like permanent deprivation of the property.
Right.
The freezing is for investigations to continue and also for the case to go to court. If the case goes to court and then the accused is not convicted, he has his property back. So freezing is not confiscation. No. Right? So it's good. It's good that we have such laws.
All right. Thank you so much, Martin Kpebu, for your thoughts on this particular case. You're still watching Join His Prime with me, Carlos Kaloni. We'll take a short breather. We'll return with more. Please stay. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Tonight, plans to reintroduce the controversial anti-LGBTQ bill in Parliament has generated major debate on the floor, with the minority accusing the NDC of running away from the bill they pushed while in opposition. Yesterday, the bill was listed to be presented, but was removed from the order paper today. Majority Leader Mahama Yariga explained it was because the bill had already been passed. But the minority is demanding answers. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Santi has more in the following report.
The controversial anti-LGBTQ bill is back at the center of attention. This morning, the majority leader explained why it had to be taken off the order paper because, in his view, the bill had already been passed by Parliament. But back on the floor, the Deputy Minority Whip Habib Idrisu was demanding answers.
The LGBTQ bill is missing. Mr. Speaker, it is a serious matter because we cannot yesterday have bills advertised on the order paper, and today same bills have been missing without anything being explained to anybody. We, the leadership of the minority here, we are not aware as to why it has not been captured in today's order paper. Neither are the sponsors.
The majority leader again reiterated the response that in his view, the bill has already been passed and Parliament does not need to work on it again. And this is a position he says the Speaker appeared to agree.
So when we drew the attention of the Speaker to the advertisement, he indicated that he did not recall approving that it should be advertised. And the clerk told me that he thought the bills had gone through the processes. But Speaker said, well, you have to bring me the evidence, because I don't recall approving that these two bills should be advertised. We indicated that we thought that the bills had been passed by this House already.
But the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin himself, says this is a bill the NDC played politics with while in opposition and are now seeking to run away from.
There was nothing administratively in error. I dare say, for the records, you force LGBT on the throat of the Akufo-Addo government. Today, you don't want LGBT. You would want it. Mube pepa. Mube pepa, papa, papa, papa. You use it to win election. Now, when your stakeholders, the international community is warning you, you want to run away. Run to where? You now see governance. You are in the kitchen, you see the heat. I was there. We will plead with you. Let's manage this situation. You say no. Remember that hot afternoon? Agboja, as a chief whip, you remember that hot afternoon when you suffocated me with third reading? You are laughing.
The majority leader hit back.
Track record of the NDC in this matter is very clear. Mr. Speaker, history will bear testimony that as far back as when the late President John Evans Atta Mills was president, and the United Kingdom government tried to get us to be favorable towards certain legislation. We resisted, we rejected, and we stood our grounds.
Now the sponsors of the bill says this bill must be reinstated on the order paper.
Asking NDC government, where is the Human Sexual Rights Bill, which had gone through all the processes and approved? Today the majority leader is telling us that Speaker is not aware. The clerk is not aware. And the first deputy speaker is saying he's not aware. But he chaired the committee that approved this bill as private members' bill. It was the Speaker who approved this same bill and director for gazetting. It was the clerk who wrote the letter accompanying the gazetting. So why is everybody saying they are not aware? Suddenly, this goes clearly to indicate that there seems to be a clear attempt by NDC government to run away from this bill. And we're asking the question, why are they running away from this bill? A bill that they thought was important yesterday must be important today. Even more so, recent developments have heightened the discomfort of Ghanaians.
The Speaker of Parliament is currently outside of Ghana. When he comes, he's expected to make a decision. Whether or not the anti-LGBTQ bill has been passed or not, it's a notorious fact. Parliament passed it in the 8th Parliament, but the president at the time, President Akufo-Addo, refused to sign it because he said there were certain legal issues that had been raised. The matters went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court dismissed some claims that had been made against the constitutionality of the bill. The bill is now back in Parliament, and the position of the NPP is that it must come before the House again for consideration and passage. The NDC say this is a bill that has already been passed. All that is left to happen is for the president to sign it. What exactly is going to happen? The coming days will show. Kweku Asante for Joy News, Parliament House, Accra.
Let's now shift our attention to illegal mining because former Registrar of the Medical and Dental Council Ghana, Dr. Eli Atiku, is warning of a looming health crisis in the central region. He says cholera and other waterborne diseases could soon spread as health facilities in Agona East and West are already recording cholera and typhoid cases. Now, residents now rely on polluted water after the Kwenyaku headworks shut down 2 months ago due to illegal mining. Some clinics even buy sachet water to treat patients and clean wards. We'll hear from Dr. Atiku shortly, but first, listen to the second episode of Dear Mahama, Stop Galamsey, exposing how illegal mining is crippling health facilities and endangering lives in Kwenyaku and its areas.
Maureen Eje Dansoa is the nurse in charge at the Kwesi-Chukrom Chips compound in the Agona East district. These days, her hardest task is not treating the sick. It is finding water to keep the clinic running.
It's been very difficult. There is a nearby town. That's where we get our source of water. Because it's a borehole, it's free, but you have to pay for the motor, TNT. So actually, they will take at least 20 cedis. So if you have 1 gallon, it means you are paying 1 gallon for 20 Ghana cedis. So it means if the person is going for maybe 2 or 3, more than 3 times, it means you are paying 60 Ghana cedis. And it's been very difficult. Yeah.
With the facility's borehole broken, Maureen must trek to nearby towns with gallons or pay motorcycle riders, draining her own salary to keep the clinic open.
Yes, from my own pockets. Yes, please, from my own pockets. Nobody is paying.
The entire Kwesi-Chukrom community now depends on the Offa Pond, a dark, stagnant pool of water shared with animals. For hundreds of families, this pond is their only lifeline. Maureen fears that this same water, polluted and smelly, could soon turn their daily struggles into a full-blown health crisis. Already, she says cases are appearing.
Definitely, there is going to be an outbreak of cholera. After maybe the case has been resolved, there is going to be an outbreak of cholera.
Chip compound, or something in Suho. Obotu, in Sumaya, a sanky, Sanino. You should not say, Etiensu, or Yarfu Krabadawa, just a koto pure water, and ask if I said Damano.
Just a few kilometers away in Nyakrom, in the Agona West municipality, the story is no different. Here, residents now draw their water from the Accra River, dark tea colored, polluted, and contaminated by human activities. At the Nyakrom Health Center, Senior Physician Assistant and Head of the facility, Florence Mavis Odom, confronts the human cause of the water crisis. Her facility's borehole still runs, but the community's dependence on the polluted Accra River is now reflected in her case files.
Roughly in a month, we can say that about 10, 15, 20, depends. Yeah, once a while the typhoid, they report.
In Kwesi Krom and Nyakrom, the fear of a full-blown health crisis grew more intense each day. Cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea are no longer distant threats. They are knocking at doors. If this is not an emergency, Mr. President, what is it? Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
Well, we cannot hear from the former registrar of the Medical and Dental Council Ghana, Dr. Elia Tikwi, who is warning of a looming major health crisis in part of the central region. He says it's only a matter of time before cholera and other waterborne diseases spread.
We are left with no time to start seeing cases of cholera, or I should say waterborne, water-related diseases. Since they have already started seeing this type of cases. The question is, we have water contaminated by galamsey and its effects, and we have water contaminated by other things. Now, if we want to really look at water contaminated by the galamsey and its related activities, then we are looking at a broader perspective than water contaminated by the organisms that will cause cholera or will cause typhoid fever. What we could do is for us to ensure that we really provide potable water for the communities and also for the institutions or the health institutions that take care of the people in their areas. Other than that, we are going to have very serious problems. You go to the hospital, you know that a lot of work that is done is water related. How do you go to a labor ward to go and deliver and you want to depend on sachet water? If water is not available, and it is not any form of water, it is what we call potable water. So if you are going to go to the pond to go and fetch water to come and use at the hospital, I'm sure you are causing a lot more harm than good.
Let's come back to the capital here in Accra because tensions flared at the Agbogloshi market as pepper sellers clashed with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's task force during the Clean Ghana enforcement exercise. The task force had moved in to clear portions of the market said to be operating under unhygienic conditions, but some traders resisted, accusing the AMA of unfair targeting and failing to provide designated selling areas. Stephen Mensah was there and has filed this report.
The exercise, which began in the early hours of Wednesday, forms part of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's renewed push to rid markets of unauthorized structures and improve sanitation. Director for the Clean Ghana campaign, Florence Cookie, tells Joy News the Assembly will intensify enforcement and begin a full-scale crackdown on traders who flout the directive.
In our AMA sanitation bylaw, the market sanitation bylaw, you are not supposed to display your ware below 3 feet. Because when you display your ware below 3 feet, we know that the ground is not paved. Even if it is paved, there are some microorganisms that can easily have contact with your food, and the product will be contaminated. When you go to the market, you see that there's a dwarf wall. Everybody is supposed to be inside the dwarf wall.
She says corporates will be arraigned before court for flouting the sanitation bylaws.
Being a first-time offender, you've not gone to the court before, you can be fined not less than 50 penalty units, which is every day we have our information van going around educating people they should move from the roadside.
But in a sharp rebuttal, the traders say the assembly failed to provide alternative spaces before the confiscation exercise.
Since we have nowhere else to trade, we've decided to sit here. We don't have the money to rent shops either. We understand that you mean well for us because this is a road and anything can happen. A driver's brake could even fail. But for the little we are trying to earn, that's why we are trading here.
Abigail, a trader who deals in the sale of pepper, says although the action is justified, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly must intensify public education before carrying out such exercises.
It's true, if they were consistent, we would find a way to cooperate. With the way they've shown up today, they should be coming around more often.
The traders are demanding more consultation and better relocation plans before any further demolitions and exercises.
From the Agbeblosi market here in Accra, I am Stephen Mensah, reporting for Joy News.
Well, we'll take a short break here on Joy News Prime, but still to come. Krobo Girls SHS shines over two-time finalists since Francis Xavier and Business SHS book won 8-stage spot at the 2025 NSMQ preliminary round. Stay with us for details. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, to some other story, Ghana needs at least $300 billion to adapt to its ever-changing climate issues. Director of Climate Adaptation and Vulnerability at the Environmental Protection Authority, Nana Dr. Akufo-Addo, warns that without this funding, adaptation will remain a distant dream, leaving critical infrastructure and entire communities at the mercy of the climate. Michael Ashley has more in the following episode of Climate Focus.
The climate tide is changing. For years, it was only rumors, but now the effects are glaring. Nana Dr. Akufo-Addo says the climatic conditions have truly changed and become almost unpredictable.
From 2000 to date, almost every year, so the frequency of flooding conditions had been increasing. The other things that we are also doing as people that are exacerbating the climate impact.
Nana Dr. Akufo-Addo, Director of Climate Adaptation and Vulnerability at the Environmental Protection Agency, says we must adapt. That's why he's championing a national adaptation plan.
And so adaptation planning is looking at incorporating climate change adaptation issues into our development agenda, looking at it from medium to long term, instead of doing emergency responses.
Climate change has also become a major concern for many members of parliament who are pushing for green solutions to help Ghana weather the changing climate. At a national workshop on green energy zones and investment held in Accra, leaders of the Climate Parliament said empowering MPs to implement constituency-level renewable energy projects would promote sustainable industrialization, job creation, and climate resilience across the country. Akufo-Addo is chairman of the Environment, Science and Technology Committee of Parliament and chairman of the Climate Parliament.
The green energy is the new phenomenon now. So you need to establish green zones in the various parts of your country. And in Ghana, because the members of parliament represent constituencies, each member will be tasked to establish a green zone.
Adaptation doesn't come cheap. Nana Dr. Akufo-Addo says the major hurdle to climate adaptation is financing.
I don't have, because they are now doing the costing, but we wouldn't estimate anything less than about 300 billion.
Billion
yes.
cedis or dollars?
Dollars.
From policymakers to scientists, the call is clear. Adapt, invest, and protect the future before it slips away. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Climate Focus is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development, and the Climate Development Knowledge Network.
Well, Krobo Girls Senior High School have announced their brilliance on the national stage, shining and glittering their way past two-time finalists, St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary and Business SHS Tamale, to book a 1/8 stage spot in the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz. After making their debut appearance to the semi-final stage in 2018, The team says they are confident and resolved to progress further in the CS competition. My colleague Collins Frimpong reports from Cape Coast.
It's shining. Oh yes! Beyond the sky. It's our limits. Beyond the sky.
So Krobo indeed is shining. They have qualified to the 1/8 stage after they came up against Business SHS and also St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary SHS in their contest at the SGS Auditorium. They came when the contest ended. They had 59 points, where St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary also had 42 points, and Business SHS had 19. For you, how did you see your colleagues' contest? And going back to the 1/8 stage, I believe you are proud.
Yes. Well, the good Lord brought us this far. We were eliminated last year, but then this year we came back stronger, and I believe we are going to do very, very well at the Nationals.
You were on the stage, and you guys started well, coming on the stage where last year you have your seniors coming in that they couldn't progress to the 1/8 stage. There were some sort of pressure on you, definitely. How did you manage to sail through?
Well, God was the one that helped us sail through. He took away every tension and every pressure we felt on stage and gave us the strength to face our opponents.
Going into the 1/8 stage, what should we expect from you?
As usual, with God on our side, expect nothing but the best.
All right, so it's like this. Every school prepares themselves. We're also preparing ourselves, okay? And so we want to take it contest after contest. So we are done with this one. We are hoping that we'll go back, look at the mistakes that we've committed today that didn't make us get to 60 or above. We will just right our wrongs, and then maybe next contest, 1/8, we want to do better than today's contest.
About 2 months ago, we were in WA when you guys were competing in the regional qualifiers and had points that yourself, you mentioned that we were disappointed. Are you impressed with the points that you guys were able to make?
No, not necessarily, because despite the points being good and enviable, but we still didn't surmount the highest points in the contest. So, no.
Oh yes! Krobo is shining! Oh yes! Krobo is shining! Oh yes!
Interesting there. We'll take a short break. When we return, Showbiz is next.